Many people have experienced a moment like this in the body. In certain practices, or after a deep massage or long stretch, you can feel the body drop. The muscles stop gripping. The sense of control temporarily retreats. The long-held effort seems to release. In that moment, it's easy to conclude, I relaxed. But that conclusion is often too early because very soon you notice that once you return to daily rhythm, standing up, walking, working, dealing with people and tasks, the body quickly returns to what is familiar. The neck and shoulders harden again, breathing becomes shallow again, the whole system tightens and dulls. This repetition confuses people. Relaxation clearly happened. Why was it so short-lived? Why does the body seem unable to remember that release? The issue is usually not that the practice or massage didn't work. The issue is that we often mistake a temporary letting go of control for the body actually learning structural ease. Most people understand relaxation at the level of feeling. You feel lighter, tension fades, the body stops actively resisting the world, so you assume that must be ease. But there's a key fact most people miss. Collapse is not structural ease. Collapse is often just a temporary release of tension. True ease requires structure. Collapse is usually a full retreat, withdrawal, backing off, even escape. The body temporarily stops participating. It no longer needs to respond, so the sense of stiffness disappears. But in that process, the underlying structure has not changed. Force transmission pathways have not been optimized. Internal support relationships have not been rebuilt. It's simply that movement stops, stimulation decreases, and the environment is sealed off, and the muscles stop doing work, so the system collapses. Collapse without structure is like a sofa that has caved in. It may feel comfortable the moment you sit down, but it can't carry real weight, and it can't absorb impact. That's why many people's relaxation only exists inside a protected recovery space, a quiet room, a deliberately isolated period of time, a carefully arranged posture. Once those conditions are gone, the body quickly returns to its old rigid patterns. This doesn't mean you did something wrong. It means that you have been using a state-based understanding to expect a structural-based stability. Here's a simple self-check. Can you carry out of the protected environment after you return to daily life, standing up, walking, talking? Does the state remain? If the relaxed state does not leave long, it's probably collapse. Do you become more efficient while functioning? Doing the same movement or the same work, do you need less effort to achieve the same result? If you simply feel limp or depleted, it's probably collapse. Does breathing become deeper and more continuous in life? Not bigger or forced, but smoother, finer, and unbroken? If it still becomes shallow and interrupted, with tightness in the chest, you're likely still oscillating between rigidity and collapse. True structural ease is not produced by telling yourself, don't use force. It comes from a different level. When internal structure has been reorganized, ease appears on its own. When the system's transmission pathways becomes more rational, redundant effort and internal oppositions are removed. Only the most essential and efficient parts keeps doing the work. The whole system becomes more efficient and smoother. This is not no effort. It is achieving what used to require a lot of effort with very little effort. In Tai Chi Chuan practice, people talk about 4 ounces moving 1,000 pounds. That isn't mystical language. It points to mechanics. When structure and leverage are correct, brute force is no longer necessary. So structural ease is a form of dynamic ease. Even when functioning and responding, the system stays efficient and open. These two patterns, collapse and structural ease, also map to two different kinds of calm. Model 1, static, isolated calm. Collapse produces a kind of static calm. It comes from stopping, retreating, isolating, so it is inherently fragile. Psychologically, this calm only lasts when nothing is happening yet. Once pressure returns, the system is immediately pierced. It depends on environment and conditions, on whether you can keep life outside the door. It's like a cup of water. Touch it and it spills. As a short rest, it has value, but if you expect it to support a complex life, it will disappoint you. Model 2, structural dynamic calm. Structural ease corresponds to dynamic calm. Because the body structure has capacity and transmission, the system can stay upright even with inside change, pressure, and ongoing tasks. When the body has structural ease, the mind doesn't need to force calm. Calm appears naturally. This calm does not require you to live life. It allows waves because the system has enough capacity to carry them. It's more like the ocean. Waves on the surface, stability in depth. Currents exist, but the whole does not overturn. The key point is, this is not a psychological trick. It is the result of a reorganized mind-body system. Why tracing relaxation can make you collapse under real life. When someone repeatedly trains feeling better, the body doesn't learn stability. It learns avoidance. Under pressure, it wants to exit. In conflict, it wants everything to stop. When waves arise, it rushes to push sensation back down. Over time, the system doesn't become stronger, it becomes more sensitive. You think you're repairing yourself, but you're actually training a system that is highly reactive to the world and lacks the capacity to carry it. That's why many people discovered the more they pursue relaxation, the more likely they are to tighten, panic, or lose control in real moments. Work, relationships, unexpected events. The issue isn't lack of effort, it's that the target you're pursuing is inherently easy to break. When real structural ease is rebuilt, something counterintuitive happens. Relaxation is no longer a state you have to repeatedly enter. It becomes a default capacity. When things happen, you don't need to force yourself to be calm, because true structural ease is an integrated whole body linkage. In Daoist language, terms like ease, softness, and non-striving are not psychological suggestions. They point to something deeper, whether the body is open, whether internal flow is smooth, and whether the system has self-regulation. Non-striving does not mean giving up effort. It means when structure is established, unnecessary resistance is no longer needed. When the system becomes complete, many states you used to try to achieve appear naturally. In Daoist understanding, genuine health is also structural ease without collapse. Only with structural ease can internal qi circulation become coherent, organs coordinate, and the whole system recover and regulate itself. When the system is rigid or collapsing, structure is already imbalanced. Rigidity is opposition, collapse is withdrawal. Structural ease is effort reorganized through structure. These three may all look like less tension, but only structural ease produces higher functioning and greater capacity. The Huangdi Neijing doesn't describe health as feeling relaxed or comfortable. It describes smooth regulation, contained spirit, and systemic steadiness. Avoid external evils at the right times. In quiet emptiness, true qi follows. Spirit is guarded within. How could illness arise? With fewer desires, the heart is calm and unafraid. The body labors without exhaustion. Qi moves in harmony. This is not fragile quiet. It's the calm that emerges when structure has become stable. Based on this distinction, serious breath training traditions often avoid making relaxation the target. They're not trying to help you chase a pleasant sensation. They care about something else. Whether you're building a mind body structure that can carry real life over time. If, after watching this, you're beginning to see why system building matters, a practical question naturally follows. What does training structural ease actually involve? How is it different from the breath practices people commonly do? Based on the framework above and the long breath method of Shengxuan system, we treated not aiming at relaxation as a foundational assumption. If you want to understand this training model more clearly, we prepared an overview video, what you need to know about the long breath method. This video is not meant to persuade you. It won't promise you outcomes or tell you follow this and everything will change. It has one purpose, to help you judge whether this training approach fits your current stage. You can treat it as extended decision material to see more clearly what the long breath method trains and what it deliberately does not train. There's no need to rush to a decision and no need to label yourself based on one video. Just judge honestly. Are you looking for repeated shifts in state, or are you looking for a trainable foundation, something you can practice long term, bring into life, and evaluate through your own experience? If the answer becomes clear, the next step will appear on its own.